Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching from. Now, the Kenyan election is fast approaching, and for those who may be in the country, the media blitz and the campaign rallies can be a bit overwhelming. There's just so much political events happening all over the place, and so much happening in the build up to the general elections, which is happening now in about 34 days. For those who are not political enthusiasts, of course, this can be a bit overwhelming. So today I want to discuss 10 ways that you can maintain your sanity in this electioneering season as we approach the elections, post the elections. So please watch the video to see the things that I'm doing and the things that you can do in order to maintain your sanity during this electioneering period. My name is Jonathan Ameka. This is Medics TV. Welcome. Number 1, limit your exposure to social media. A lot of people spend time on social media, and this can be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're on social media the whole day and you're looking at every little bit of information that's coming through. There's so much propaganda flying on social media, and social media I mean Twitter and Facebook, and some which are the main platforms that may disseminate political information. So much happens there, and if you're combing through every little tiny bit of information, then that can be a bit overwhelming. So limit your exposure to social media so that you're just looking at what is necessary when it's necessary, and that will help a lot in being able to just maintain your cool even when it comes to things that may affect the way you think or the way you perceive other people and their opinions. Number 2 is unfollow or do not follow individuals who are toxic on social media. We all know that there are people who always spread hate, they spread bigotry on social media, they spread propaganda. So if you feel that an individual is disseminating information or ideas or just things that you do not agree with, then why follow them? Just make sure that you do not follow individuals who will basically mess up your day. So that's something I personally do. I do not bother myself following people who I think may just spread negative information, or who keep on spreading negative information that may put me in a space where I'm not happy at all. So do not follow individuals who you think are negative or individuals who you may not like, because this is basically exposing yourself to negativity. Number 3 is do not engage in meaningless or pointless social media debates. This is something I see quite often, people engaging in the most meaningless debates with strangers. There's no point to this, and if you have to put a point across, make sure you're cordial, make sure you're respectful in the way you project. A lot of people are on social media. Your potential employer could be on social media, your potential spouse could be on social media, someone who's about to give you a work opportunity could be on social media. So make sure that if you're to engage on matters politics, make sure you're cordial, make sure you're respectful. But otherwise, my advice would be stay away from meaningless political debates, especially those ones that spread hatred or are abusive in nature. Now, my fourth point is currently mainstream media is littered with a lot of politics. You have to make a deliberate decision on what to watch and what not to watch. Sieve out what you want to see and sieve out what you do not want to see, because the information out there is so much, and sometimes when you consume everything, then it might just mess up with the way you think and the way you perceive things, or it might make you think that things are blown out of proportion and give you certain ideas that are not what is on the reality. Make sure that you're able to separate the truth from the facts. Use your discretion. Use your discretion to separate the truth from the facts. Do not consume everything that is presented on mainstream media, on the news. My fifth point is, if you're supporting a particular candidate, be open to the idea that they may win or lose the election. This is a very important point, very critical. Be open to the idea that they may win or lose the election. Of course, if you're close-minded and you think that your candidate has to win, if they lose, then what happens? Ultimately, I think life has to go on. So you have to be open to the fact that the other candidate has supporters, just like you're supporting your candidate, and to maintain your sanity. It's an election, it's a democratic country, and people will vote as they wish. Now, my sixth point is, unless absolutely necessary, do not disclose who you're voting for. Remember, voting is a secret ballot. So unless you're in political circles, unless you're doing political activism, there's no point of disclosing who you're voting for. This is because this primarily may expose you to antagonism, or it may make you a target for violence. So to maintain for your safety and for just for your peace, make sure you do not expose whoever you are voting for, unless of course you're within political circles or political activism and you're in the open supporting a particular candidate and urging others to support them. Otherwise, if you're not in those circles, if you're a regular voter, then the ballot is secret. You're the only one supposed to know who you're voting for. My seventh point is, be open to the idea that people have a contrary opinion to yours. You walk in the streets, you log on social media, and you find people who are not very open to the idea of other people supporting their preferred candidate. So just to maintain your sanity, make sure that you are open to the idea that another individual can support a different candidate, and that's okay, because it's a free country. We have the free will to support whoever we wish, as long as they're on the ballot. So be open to that, and it will save you a lot of heartache, save you a lot of trouble. People have their various reasons why they support the candidates they do, and that's democracy. My eighth point is, do not engage yourself in pointless political discussions. Nowadays, you walk on the streets, even on social media, virtually, and on the ground, you will just find people talking politics everywhere, whether it's the market, whether it's on the streets, whether it's the shops. People are discussing, when the election season, and this is normal, people discussing politics everywhere. Do not engage yourself in pointless or meaningless political discussions. These usually do not achieve much, basically, and they're usually heated up. So what that means is sometimes you'll get all riled up for nothing, basically, because all these discussions, all these arguments and debates do not achieve anything. So If you can, do not engage in pointless, meaningless discussions, and that's that. My 9th point is, do not engage yourself in acts of violence or vandalism. We all know this is a season where especially young people are misused by certain individuals who may be politicians, who may be political brokers, to advance a particular agenda. So just to ensure that you are safe and that you're not getting into trouble, do not engage yourself in acts of violence or acts of vandalism, because this can get you in a lot of trouble. So make sure that you stay away from that sort of trouble, and everything will be okay with you. And finally, my 10th point. Now, make sure that you turn up at a polling station on voting day and vote for your preferred candidate. Avoid regret as much as possible. Do not say, I wish I would have voted for my preferred candidate, maybe they would have won if I would have done so. Make sure that to avoid regret, that you turn up at a polling station and vote for your preferred candidate. This is your civic duty. This is something that you have to do. This is something that will help you greatly to maintain your sanity, especially post-election, depending on whether your candidate wins or loses. You can be peaceful in the fact that you played your part. So that's it for today. My 10 tips on how you can maintain your sanity during this electioneering period in Kenya. Remember, if you're having trouble with dealing with all the issues, all the things that are happening around you, you can talk to someone, talk to a family member, talk to a relative, just to help you process all these things that are happening. I know tempers can be flaring around because election season in Kenya is very heated. So if you feel that you're having trouble dealing with some of the issues that are happening, talk to a counselor, talk to family, talk to relatives. Don't keep all these feelings to yourself. And remember, you can also use some of the tips that I've shared with you that are currently working for me. So yeah, that I thought I should share because so far so good. So until next time, please make sure you like and subscribe on these videos. It helps a lot. Thank you very much for the feedback on previous videos, and thank you for tuning into Medics TV and watching some of the content I'm putting out. So until next time, from me, it's bye bye.